Yo, what's good, YouTube? Sam Crow here, aka Scoot, back with the Nina Mori Nation Draft League, and we've got Season 3 majors here, and we're going to be going over our draft that I'm super excited to share because it looks to be super duper fun. Um, we joined in Season 2 last season. There was a coach that dropped. We took over their squad and was able to make some trades and changes to the squad, basically make our own team, and we ended up going 8-5 or so, and won our first round of playoffs and lost in the semifinals, I believe. And the guy that defeated us went on and won the title. So, all right, so here we are. We've got our first pick on screen. We were pick number 9, and Mew actually fell all the way to number 9. So we just went ahead and picked up that bad boy. We had a couple different mons that we were wanting to use, obviously. Tapu Koko being one, Kieran Blight being another, but I actually picked them up in the PBF recently. And so them getting taken early didn't really bother me, and Mew actually falling to number 9 was phenomenal. I hadn't used Mew in a while in an actual draft league, so I was pretty excited to use this again and really happy. So this is one of my Z-Move users. It's obviously, you guys know, base 100 stats. It's a psychic type and has the ability to synchronize. Has an insane move pool. It gets every move, I believe, and every TM anyway. It gets access to a lot of different things. Can do a lot of different things well. I know some people spam setup Mew, and some people spam taunt Mew. Like defensive variants with taunt and roost. Some people like to go nasty plot or calm mind or like a sub variant, and try to utilize Mew. And when they do, they often find themselves using Mew in a specific role. Like maybe they don't draft well around it, and it's always forced into the same role every week, so that they don't really get to experiment with it and bring this thing to its highest potential. And I believe this thing, it's tough to say, but it could potentially be the best Pokemon in the format if somebody uses it to its best potential. You know, it's got the highest ceiling in terms of skill for Pokemon, in my opinion. Mew can do a lot of things, though. It can be bulky, leftovers, could run a Cobra Berry variant, or a Tanga, or a Cassive even. Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Life Orb, Twisted Spoons, Z-Move, obviously. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to this season and using Mew. I'm definitely okay with it being my first pick. Anyways, with it being my first pick, actually, I had a draft plan after everything started getting taken and stuff. I come up with that draft plan immediately, with Mega Pinsir being my first pick, but Mew actually fell, so I grabbed Mew first, thinking that Mega Pinsir would be around in a minute. So let's go ahead and hop into our second pick. Alright, so Mega Pinsir was a second pick. This was the mon that we were going to draft around anyway, and grabbing it at second pick was completely fine, as as long as we were just able to grab it. Especially with our first pick being Mew. And I know immediately Mew looks like it's in the defog role. It's in the defog role. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm going to draft to where Mew is not forced to be my defogger every week or anything like that. And I'm going to protect Pinsir from rocks, despite, not using Mew as a defogger. So, Mega Pinsir has a speed stat of 105, which is actually pretty solid, especially, being as bulky and as, strong as it is. Having that decent speed tier is really nice. Outpaces base 100s, and things like Garchomp and Nihilego, which is really nice. Has Bug and Flying Stab with Aerialate. The ability just makes it, really hard to switch into. Power for frustrations, returns, Giga Impacts. And it's got some cool text too that I won't get into. And it's got Swords Dance and Close Combat, Earthquake, Knockoff, Quick Attack. Mega Pinsir's been known to set up a Swords Dance and then use its priority to weaken or knock out things that are faster than it, and then to run through bulk. It's an amazing breaker. It gives me Mew and Mega Pinsir both have Stealth Rock capabilities as well, so that's pretty important and something that I think was worthy of note there. But yeah, I love Mega Pinsir. I think it's phenomenal. basically knocks out or 2-hit KOs everything in the meta. I can't think of anything that could infinitely wall it or anything like that at +2. But yeah, it's going to be it for our second pick, and we can hop into our third pick now. Alright, so our next mon is Zeraora. Wasn't initially in our plan. It was more so, you know, Rotom Wash, Mega Pinsir, and then try to build from there. But it was around 3 and Zeraora was still around, and I love this mon. It gives me immediate speed and has some really nice offensive stats. Base 112 attack, base 102 special attack. Not bad at all. It's not necessarily frail either. Obviously it is going to drop to most ground types. They are very strong ground types in general. This thing has ways around that though. You can run a Sugar Berry, you can run an Air Balloon, you can run like Bulk Up and make sure that you're not OHKO'd by Earthquake. You can run Calm Mind and make sure you're not, knocked out by Earth Power or anything like that. I think that's something that makes Zeraora so good, is it's only weak to ground. That's its only weakness, and its speed tier and its offensive capabilities are so good, and it has really good move pool in my opinion. Gets things like Knock Off, Fire Punch, Plasma Fist, Close Combat, Grass Knot, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Discharge. I'm not sure what all it gets on the special side. I know it definitely gets Grass Knot though, and then obviously a hidden power of its choice. This thing with a Life Orb is just a really nice cleaner. With its speed tier, it's just phenomenal. And I love its shiny. I didn't actually know it was released. I seen one of my friends using it in the Pokemon Battle Federation, so I was like, hey, I'm going to use Zeraora in its shiny form as well. So yeah, that's going to be my third pick, and we can go ahead and jump into our fourth pick now. Alright, so my next pick was Rotom Wash at number 4, and this gives me, with Mega Pinsir, I now have 2 ground immunities, and with Zeraora and Rotom Wash, I have 2 checks, 2 Mega Pinsir. Both, can take Frustration or Quick Attacks, +1, +2, whatever, and both can Revenge Kill a Mega Pinsir. So now I have 2 of Mega Pinsir's checks off the board now. And, some of the only ones remaining now would be like Zapdos, Tapu Koko, the Thundies, so on and so forth. Otherwise, Mega Pinsir is a huge issue for teams that don't have things like maybe Celesteela and Skarmory could wall it pretty effectively. But yeah, so what Rotom Wash does, and Zeraora even, they both bait in electric types. And if I can Volt Switch on, they bring in grass types. So if I can Volt Switch out as they're bringing in their grass types, such as Tangrowth or Superior or Decidueye, whatever it may be, and then bring in my Mega Pinsir there, I basically I'm at a knockout, or I can set up. I could get Rocks up with Mega Pinsir at that point, forcing a switch, so on and so forth. So Rotom Wash, despite its insane capabilities, I should say, it's more so opening up holes for Mega Pinsir, basically. It does have really nice defense and special defense at 107 respectively, and 105 special attack with 86 speed, which is pretty decent too. And Rotom Wash can be used as a Choice Scarf or Choice Specs variant, can be like a Trick variant, can be a Defogger. I now have 2 Defoggers that takes a little bit of weight off of Mew as a hazard remover, which is really nice. And like I mentioned, this gives me a ground immunity, which helps out Zeraora. Gives me a bulky water type. And I have 2 electric types, and they don't have overlapping weaknesses because of this thing's ability to levitate, so that's really nice. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for Rotom, and we can hop into our 5th pick now. Alright, so our 5th pick is Floette Eternal. So this thing is allowed in the Ninamore Nation Draft League. They allowed it last season, I believe. I'm not sure if they allowed it in Season 1, but they definitely allowed it in Season 2. And they're allowing it in Season 3. And we picked this bad boy up. This thing has incredible SPDEF. Makes its HP stat bearable. Obviously it has weak defenses, but it has decent, it's a really, really good special wall, as well as a speedy special attacker, which is really nice. Base 92 speed, isn't slow at all. Obviously it isn't great, but it's really nice, especially for more of a defensive role. And then base 128 special defense is basically, that's insane. Can take hits really well on the special side of the spectrum. and can dish out really good damage on the special side of the spectrum as well. It's a pure fairy type, which is phenomenal. It gets wish and protect, so it can be a nice wish passer and things like that. It also gets calm mind, so it could be like a calm mind sweeper and things like that. I'm not sure if it gets defog. It does get synthesis though. The only thing that I really don't like about this Pokemon is its abilities are stupid. uh, yeah, it doesn't really have an ability, so that's about my only complaint with this mon. Otherwise, it's a nice pure fairy type. It gets wish and protect, can pass wishes off to Rotom and Mew, and the rest of my mons that you'll see in a minute. Helps starts out my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, which is really nice, and like I mentioned, it makes for a decent special wall that isn't slow whatsoever, and can make sure that it's not used as setup fodder either, which is really nice. So yeah, that's gonna be it for Floette, and we can hop into our 6th pick now. All right. We've got Skarmory here at our 6th pick. I don't think there's not too much to say about this thing. This is one of the OU staples for the past couple years now. Maybe a lot less now, but like Gen 6 OU and stuff like that, this thing was everywhere. It's been mid to high tier in draft format as well. It's got phenomenal utility. It's a phenomenal steel type. Steel types are premier typings in draft league format, and this thing's got such good defense that you could basically put, like when you're making a defensive mon out of it, you can basically make it very, very SPDF invested, very, very HP invested, and then you have a very, very solid wall, potentially a tank, depending on what kind of movesets that you're running and what kind of team you're facing, so on and so forth. But yeah, this thing gives me another ground type immunity, which is really nice. It gives me a poison type immunity, which is also really nice. Has base 70 speed, so it's not entirely super slow or anything like that. I can taunt other Stealth Rockers, I can get up Stealth Rocks, I can get up Spikes, I can Whirlwind, I can Defog, I can Roost, Brave Bird. I can use my Sturdy ability, I can use a Weak Armor ability, I could be like a Swords Dance Agility variant. All kinds of different things Skarmory can do, and I'm really excited to try to play with it and use it kind of creatively if I can. If the opportunity arises where I can run a creative Skarmory, I would love that. I love to bring some fire to some games anyway. Anyways, yeah, it's going to be our 6th pick, and we can move on to our 7th pick now. So our next pick, if you've noticed, our last 3 picks have been a fairy and a steel type. So now we've got our dragon type here with Dredagon. This thing has some pretty solid stats. It's got decent bulk, 77 HP, 90 in both defenses. It's really, really slow, but could potentially make use out of like a Trick Room variant or something. I do have Mew that could potentially set up a Trick Room so far. Has really, really nice attack stat at base 120. With powerful moves such as like Dragon Claw, Outrage, Earthquake, Gunk Shot, Iron Tail, I think. It gets Dragon Tail as well, so it could be a phaser. It gets Glare, which could be very annoying. It's a Stealth Rocker. Has the ability Mold Breaker and Rough Skin. And with Mold Breaker, I could set up Stealth Rocks versus, mons that could use Magic Bounce. I could Toxic Magic Bounce mons. I can... if something has 30, I can, bypass their 30, knock them out in one shot, things like that. And yeah, Dredagon's pretty cool. It has some pretty cool coverage, and I think it'll be really fun to use this season. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for it. Not too much to say about it. It's not too special. It's just kind of a bulkier dragon. Pure dragon type, though, which is really nice. Kind of like Haxorus, but a little bit bulkier with kind of more defensive capabilities. But yeah, it's going to be it for Dredagon, and we can move into our 8th pick now. Alright, so while we was picking Dredagon, I looked, right before I picked Dredagon, I looked at the remaining of the teams that would be picking before me. Okay, so I pick at number 9, and there's 10, 11, 12, and then 12, 11, 10. Then back to me. So I looked at the teams and I noticed that everybody had their grass type. So I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and get Dredagon at number 7, and I can get Decidueye at number 8. So as it was coming back through, the person before me, I believe, might have been before me. Might have been a pick or 2 before me. Either way, Decidueye anyways, like I was saying, Decidui was actually taken a few picks before me, so it was unfortunate because I prioritized Dredagon, and I could have got Decidui before Dredagon and then got Dredagon later on pick 8. But yeah, I'm gonna lose out on Decidui here. But and damn you, A1, picking 2 grass types. I don't like you. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so we got Breloom here. Base 130 attack, technician ability, mock punch, bullet seed. This thing's a monster. Set up storage dances, bulk ups, can be a poison heal variant. Grass and fighting types, really nice. Coming like it's kind of weak as well. To like flying. It's got a lot of weaknesses. It's got some nice resist as well. And has some decent stats, I suppose. Gives me some more priority. So we've got priority on Mew, Mega Pinsir, potentially Zeraora with like quick attack, I believe it gets, and then this thing gets the Mock Punch, which is Technician boosted, which is really nice. So I've been wanting to use Breloom in a draft league for quite some time. I don't think I've actually ever used it that I can recall. I've used it in draft tournaments before, but never in an actual league. So I'm really excited to use this bad boy, and hopefully it can put in some work. But that's going to be it for Breloom, and we can move on to our 9th pick and start to wrap it up here with our last couple picks. Alright, so our 9th pick here, we've got Alolan Persian. This thing's a really nice mon, in my opinion. It's a nice value pick. It doesn't look too good from its stats. I mean, it's kind of fast, but that's all it's got going for it, really. But it gets an ability called Fur Coat, which makes its defenses, multiplied by 2. So it's got a base 120 defense, actually, with base 115 speed. So it's really nice. It gets the Technician ability as well. It's a pure Dark type. It has access to Taunt and Parting Shot, which makes this thing really, really, really nice. It's also one of my Z-move users. In Z Parting Shot, if you didn't know, say I have a Alolan Persian in and I use Parting Shot and click my Z move, as I Parting Shot out, I will weaken their attack and special attack as per usual. But the mon that I bring in off of the Parting Shot comes in and their health goes back to full. Despite what they were at, if they were at 3%, if they were at 75%, they go all the way back to 100%, which is a really nice tech. This thing can take on Dark types pretty well. It gives me a knockoff switch in, especially if I'm a Z-move user in that particular match. Knockoffs are going to bounce. Protects Mew from knockoff. Protects my next mon from knockoff. And my other mons that don't want to necessarily lose their items. So yeah, it's going to be a really nice mon. I think it's a great value pick, like I mentioned, and it can do some really nice things. And it gives us another really good speed tier. We've got like base 92, base 100, base 86 as well, base 105, base 115 now, and base 143 in Zeraora. So really nice team so far, and really like this Alolan Persian pick, and hopefully it can put in some work as well. But yeah, it's going to be it for number 9, and our 10th pick is actually our last pick, so let's go ahead and hop into that. Alright, so our last pick is Drifloon. So this thing gives us a Ghost Flying type. It gives us a mon with the ability Unburden, which is pretty cool. It's another Z-move user as well, so it doesn't actually always just drop to knockoff. I could potentially have a Z-move and, my item not get knocked off and I might survive or something like that. However, you can look at the defenses on this bad boy and see that it's kind of frail. But if you look at its HP stat, base 150, this thing is a fucking fat beast. With base 80 and 90 attack and special attack respectively, and base 80 speed. Of course, that doubles to 160 when Unburden activates, meaning I outpace things like Zeraora, Mega Alakazam, so on and so forth, if I'm max speed, which is really nice. And this thing gets, excuse me, this thing does get what I was thinking, but at the same time, that's not what I was talking about. Its typing, Ghost Flying, was what I was trying to get to. Get some cool text like, I think it's Baton Pass, which is really neat. And this thing could just be a general X factor for teams. It might, if you don't have a Ghost Resist, it could be problematic to your squad. You might have to over prep for it. You might under prep for it, and then I bring it and it mollywop. But you never know. I think mons like this are really cool. I'm actually going to be rocking the shiny version. Not only is yellow my favorite color, but it kind of resembles the colors of the Ninamori Nation Draft League, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's going to be it for my Season 3 Majors draft. I really like the squad. Alright, so yeah, that's going to be the draft. That's going to be our draft recap for Season 3 Majors. Let's go over the team real quick. We have Mew, which was our first pick. Our second pick was Mega Pinsir. Third pick was Zera Aura. Fourth pick was Rotom Wash. Floette Eternal was our fifth pick. Our sixth pick and seventh pick rounded out our Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Skarmory and Dredagon. Our next pick was Breloom at number 8. Number 9 was Alolan Persian. And last but not least was Drifloon. So, yeah, really cool squad. Really excited to use it. We only have 10 Mons, but we only had 10 Mons last season. So, yeah, definitely going to have... this was a team that we actually got to draft last season. We took over a squad and had to build from what was left over, so on and so forth. This season we got to draft our squad. A lot more motivation goes into building when it's like that. So definitely going to be looking to have a lot of fun this season, and definitely going to be trying to win. I want the title, obviously, but you don't join a league if you don't want the title, in my opinion. But yeah, it's going to be it. Let me know what you guys think about the team. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.